Okay, now. All right. Good morning, buddy. First podcast.
Evening for me. I think this was a long time coming. Been
Yeah,
fucking
buddy.
talking
We've
about
been
this for like years.
talking about it for years. Holy shit. Yeah.
I think it's
Um,
easier now, right?
I think people are more used to it. I think it's like I think people are just more popular for people to just do this more often now. So I don't know. I think it works. But I didn't really fuck, I forgot what we were talking about. I just woke up. Um
You have a coffee yet?
I have okay, well, I didn't sip yet. I was gonna show off my coffee because I'm a latte artist now.
The fuck is that? Looks like someone just jizzed into the side of your cup.
That is California wildfires are there, baby. Um, yep, it's a work in fucking progress, man. I fucking suck. But I took a course once and I own a book and I still suck. But you gotta keep working on it.
You're not even the
Oh,
first guy I know who's taken a latte art class.
who
What does
else
that
has taken a
say about
latte art
me?
course?
Can't
I mean,
remember.
fuck, you know what? There's like a bucket list dream item, which is like own a coffee shop and be that dude that does like runs the coffee shop. And you got to know how to like impress the girls in your latte art, right?
I know, buddy. I feel like that's like a sports car thing. You think that's what impresses the girls, but it only impresses dudes.
I mean, I don't fucking know.
I know a
That's
buddy who used to own a good art though, so I could definitely connect you with that guy. He doesn't seem like it doesn't sound like it was like a resounding success, but what do I know?
no, I don't think it. I don't think you typically open a coffee shop because you're going to be profitable.
Yeah.
Um, I think you do it as a retirement gig, but I don't fucking know.
There's so many better choices than that, I
Yeah, there
think.
probably is. There probably is. I don't know. Something about coffee. I know the owners of Sought and Found, and they seem like they figured it out. Um, but I don't know. It does not seem like an easy grind for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Grind.
yeah. Right.
All right. Well, I actually came up with a bit of a agenda for this. I don't know, because we're doing it on Zoom. It feels like, am I just like running a meeting at this point? Just feels like work.
Gosh, we definitely shouldn't be running a meeting. You should be having a beer like this.
Oh my God. I do have a beer, but
You
it's in
should
the fridge.
go
And
get
now
your
we're
beer in the
recording.
fridge. No, we're editing the podcast. Did we
Are
say
we?
anything really?
No.
Well, wait,
Yeah,
unedited?
maybe. Well, I think we should Joe Rogan this and try to keep it as unedited as possible.
Whoa, I didn't realize we
But
were.
I will go get my beer.
Go get your beer. Okay, so that's a
Uh,
good question.
Schmack as hell.
Oh, smack style. Got it. Cool. I never tried one of those.
We'll say the Germans do beer right. So cheap, so much of
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
acceptable.
Nice. Okay, well, this is a really good question. And is this podcast supposed to be edited or unedited? And I immediately went to edited, but I might be wrong. Um, the reason why I thought edited is because I thought we would say something that's really dumb or offensive or personal information that you just want to cut. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think I think I lean to try and protect privacy. So I guess no name dropping or like stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
exactly,
of course, if you
exactly.
do it by accident, I think we edit it, of course. But I want to keep it sort of as I want it to feel like someone's just like sitting in the room with us, listening to us talk. I don't
Oh
want it
yeah.
to be like, what's the opposite of that? Like some shitty LinkedIn post, right? Which is like fake as fuck. Like
Oh yeah.
the world needs less AI garbage, less LinkedIn. I want to thank all my peers garbage. And so it should just be like two old friends talking, which is kind of what we are. And I think
So
our conversations are interesting enough that maybe some people want to hear it. Probably most don't, but who knows? Maybe this is our market test, right?
oh man, it's gonna take a long time to build a base, but that's just the way it is. You gotta do it for yourself
Are
first, right? Do it for yourself.
absolutely like are we as cool as we think we are?
No. But um I mean for me, I'm starting my morning with a coffee and a banana. I'm gonna do that anyways. If I catch up with you once a week slash once a month, whatever we do this at. Um, that's fucking fun. So I don't really overthink it. Just kind of enjoying the morning. I like the unedited as well because it's less work and you just kind of want to not give a fuck and just put it out there. And I agree. Just yeah, privacy is my only concern. And then sometimes you want to talk about something you don't. I don't want us to filter ourselves. You just want to talk about it.
Yeah. So I think we should just have a chat and try to just forget that it's recording even.
Exactly. Um,
That being said, um, have you brainstormed any potential names
I have not at
for
all.
this?
Fuck. Oh, I
I
was
think I
thinking.
have,
I have one really terrible one. You want to hear my terrible fucking name?
yeah,
It was potential rejects because it was a combination of our two companies. It's so dumb.
I think it's actually funnier as rejected potential.
Yes, yes, that is fucking funny. It's great.
Okay,
Rejected
I like
potential
that
is
one
fucking awesome. Just because it has a
because it's kind
story,
of a
right?
throwback. Yeah, it's a throwback to world. So the first thing I did was like, okay, I type in like the nature of our relationship into ChatGPT,
Oh, you would do that,
and
okay?
we're like, we're two friends. We've done XYZ. Give me some names. It spits out like a bunch of crappy generic names, and then I realized you can't actually use ChatGPT because it's like scraping the internet. So all it's doing is taking existing podcast names in its knowledge. So like that's actually a place where ChatGPT doesn't really help. You can't really give it like a direct prompt. Okay, my idea for the name though, I think it can also be called the Calc because you say that all the time. You're like, "What's the Calc? What's your Calc? Here's my Calc." Like maybe it's called the Calc with Adil and Chris. And then I
Ooh,
prompted ChatGPT. I prompted and said, "Are there any podcasts with the word calc or calcs in it?" And the answer is actually no. So,
interesting, interesting.
and I think the calc is it's kind of fun, right? They could be
Uh,
bad calcs. They're often bad calcs, but they're
oh yeah,
still calcs, you know? Although
interesting. You
rejected
know,
potential is fucking funny too.
maybe that's because we personally get it, and maybe that's why it's bad. But fuck, I like both those right now. Both those sound pretty good. I like
I think rejected potential is ironic because I always feel like I haven't reached my full potential, but
oh
I
yeah,
never will.
for sure, exactly. That's exactly why I thought it was had that. Both those words were funny to me. Um, yeah, I like the
That's
calc.
like the calc is just kind of catchy where I think like rejected potential, it's 5 syllables.
Yeah, it's
It
too
can
long.
be a mouthful.
It's way too long. It's not going to be as easy as to get to like the highest level of podcasting, right? Where the calc actually could. And I think that's maybe one differentiator factor. You want to be short enough to be like people just say you so quickly.
Yeah. Okay, you hear the calc this week.
Exactly.
But then you also have my first million, which works. So I think the rejected potential also, I think it's like easier to like search for.
I bet the calc's really hard to search for. And rejected pencil is
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
easy to win that domain game. Fuck, that's
Totally.
what
I'm
I'm doing that at work right now actually. I got a naming project. I mean, I have a project that I'm launching that has a naming problem. And everybody's kind of yelling at me about what they think a better name is. And
I'm the best at names. I've named so much shit. I've named like 5 things that like have stuck.
ooh,
So let's hear it. Let's brainstorm right now.
you want to hear? Oh fuck, I'll jump into it. Okay, so it's a it's it's a Canadian poly market. We're kind of thinking of, we're building, yeah, but it's only tied in with Canadian politics and potentially hockey. So like that's it. And my best name I have right now. You want to hear it first? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My best name right now is it's called Looney Bets.
Looney bets.
You know, like
Don't love it.
the dollar loony. Yeah, yeah, I
I
know.
know.
Yes,
It's
yes, yes.
stupid.
Like, not Looney Tunes loony. Yeah, I know. It's not great, but it ranks, I think.
No. I just think it's the first thing you think about for Canada, just the dollar coin. Like it's like I never really like I was gonna lean towards like maple leaf.
Okay, so I had Maple odds, or okay, I had a tons of Maple names, right? The problem with Maple is you Google Maple and Maple Leaf dominates all your fucking searches. So any name with Maple does not work. I tried a bunch of them. That was my first thought too.
The other way to go is to just make a word that doesn't
A
exist,
a
right?
pretend Twitter word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or you do what I did with DraftKit, and they had draftkit.com, and we were just like, well, we'll just do draftkit.ca and use
Is that
strictly
still
our,
running, by the way?
bro, 11 years. We had a plus 20% year this year. Like it was steady decline because I think we were losing clients to like all the other fantasy sports sites. But for some reason this year we were like plus 20. So pretty
Cool.
happy with it. 11th year, have like super loyal customers. And I do
Nice.
almost nothing. The postal strike just missed us though. I think we got a bit lucky with it.
Ooh, nice. Nice. That's fucking awesome.
But yeah, and all we did was use the CA. I was actually
Mhm.
thinking about that on the way on the drive here. Like now I can actually, I think from Germany, I can actually open like a .de domain. Yo, there's so many words that end with DE in English that like
Ooh.
maybe there's some like English domain arbitrage to be had there. I was like thinking
I
like, okay,
like
how
it.
do
I
we,
like it. Well, wait, hold on a second. You gotta be a registered citizen or whatever bullshit resident
yeah, I have no
to
idea.
own
I
that
gotta
thing.
look into
I
it.
know you got it, but you
But
can't resell it. I mean, I guess you could repoint it. It's a little illegal, but I like it. I think it's possible.
because
That's
ending
interesting.
with .de, there's like so much cool
Like
English words you could like
you
brainstorm.
retain ownership, but you lease it out to some other fuck who wants it. Yeah,
I don't
I,
know.
I like it.
I think
I
this
think it's a
country's
good
like so far
model.
behind. Like the when I just read like websites that are like word arted onto vans, like they suck. Like it'd be easy to grab some like single word domains that end in DE that like the Germans wouldn't think of.
Ooh, I like this
Even if you
business.
did like even if you did like let's say like fair trade, right? It would just be fairtra.de.
I got it. I already got it. Yeah, I love it. I love this idea. It's a
So
fucking good
many.
idea. So Elon was talking about how Germany fucking sucks because they have to file like 10,000 pages for their fucking giga permit application, but they had to do it in paper and then multiple like a truckload of 10,000 page copies is like
It's
retarded.
bad.
So
It's
Germany reminds me of Japan. Like they're still old school, and I
yeah.
don't know.
You'd think for like a socialist left-wing country, nanny state situation, it wouldn't be, but I think it's very close to Japan. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese people here. Lots of Japanese people do business here. So I think it like kind of makes sense, like that their cultures sort of start merging together.
Weird.
And it's a very old country. So like literally an old country.
Oh yeah.
So
I wonder if it comes down to like tradition. Like it's all about tradition. Like this is how we've always done it. It's how we do it. Is that what it
there's
is?
there's a business advantage there though. You break tradition and people just get like blown
Oh,
away. I think it'd be
hmm.
very easy to do any business here where you do exactly the same thing and just provide good service. Just like exactly the same thing. There's like no technical competitive advantage except we're just nicer to everybody.
That's funny. Hmm.
Yeah. Like pick anything. It was kind of nice though, like going back to Calgary, even when people were like, "Oh, we're getting like really bad service right now." I'm like, "No, you're not." No.
Yeah.
So, um, speaking of sort of throwing back to our old companies,
Mhm.
I was curious, wanted to ask you, like Dragon's Den, does that ever come up for you at all ever again? Or like,
Once every 2 years, somebody reminds us. Once every year, somebody reminds the world that I did Dragons Den.
do you ever open with it?
Never, never.
It's
I don't
hard,
know
right?
why. I mean, I'm pretty terrible at like pumping my own tires off the start. I don't do a good job of it. Um,
Hmm.
um,
I think there's no easy way to like ease it into a conversation without sounding like a douche.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Why? Why do you ask?
I was just curious. I was just showing someone like because like I'm like a totally new character here in Germany.
Ooh,
So like
you
you
are.
tell people like, oh yeah, I've been on TV before, or like I was talking about you for some reason because we had hung out over the holiday break, and I'm like, oh, this guy, a business partner with him, went to school. We did like this TV show together. So I think it's easier actually to introduce you as having been on Dragon's Den and then like casually say, I was like, oh yeah, no, I was there too, kind of thing, right? So,
Mhm.
but maybe it's also a time factor. Like that was like 10 years ago now. So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got over my cringe on it for sure, I think. Like I used to be pretty like, oh man, I don't want to show that off. I don't enjoy it as much as I do now. I'm like much more comfortable with it. Um,
do you like the
what
sound of your own voice? Like how
took
will
me a
this
it,
recording sound?
it used to make me cringe, but now I'm just more comfortable with it. I've done enough podcast slash like speaker things slash whatever bullshit talking on a stage that I feel more comfortable with it. I'm just more comfortable who I am. I don't know. I don't care that I'm silly or I'm dumb or you know acting who I am. I don't mind it. So I've gotten used to it over the years. Like I think I'm waiting for that moment when I want to do a third Dragon Den, to be honest, because I'm sure they'd let me on.
So stupid. Like that
But
show's, I think, over, but I don't know. I don't watch it.
I mean, I just don't think it's that great for people. Like it helps you a bit for a small, tiny business, but it doesn't really help you if you're big enough, I guess, or if you have something substantial. I mean, it's a good free TV ad. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I agree with you. It's like too small ball, I think, now when you think about like what true VC is. Like those guys, maybe like Mark Cuban is, but like the types of investments they're making on there are just like small business mom and pops, right? Like no one's really like how many times are they giving multi-million dollar valuations? Like I think very few.
I think
So
honestly, it's just for their own rep. It's for their own brand. They're all trying to brand themselves as somebody fucking good, so they can raise millions and millions of dollars on their ventures. They just try to make themselves look fucking hot. That's it. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, out of all Canadian ones, I gotta say like Kevin's done the best over the years, I think.
yeah,
And then Jim was already fucking pretty big. So, I don't
yeah.
really watch it. Do you watch it? I don't watch it anymore. Fuck.
No. And in fact, people don't, I just call it Canadian Shark Tank. Like its own branding
Oh,
is kind of shit too, right? Like,
fuck.
even though I think Shark Tank came after, but
It did. It totally did.
it just shows you like the American market. It's
Yeah,
like everything is just how it relates to America.
it
I
is
have
bigger than
learned
us.
I have learned that Germans can't tell my accent apart from an American's though. Like
Whoa,
guys cutting my hair today was just like, oh yeah, what part of the US are you from? Like, no part, Canadian. So I think we all
interesting.
sound the same to them.
Do you are you respected as a Canadian in Germany? Like, do people like Canadians in Germany? Do they give a fuck?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't think I've had enough interactions to tell. Like being a minority Canadian in Germany is probably a little bit of a mind fuck for them, but I don't know.
totally. I bet it is. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to credit them. Like I speak enough German now that I can say like the first sentence, but then as soon as they reply, I'm like totally lost.
Can you teach me some
But
German? What's your first sentence? Fuck, I want to know so badly.
oh, like today I was just like, I have an appointment at 12:30, right? So it's like, ich habe einen Termin halb eins, which means I have an appointment at half one.
Wow.
But then
Wow.
he just says, and I actually felt proud because I made him look at the clock. Like he was running late. So I'm like, okay, I said it well enough to make this guy look at the clock.
I like it. I like
But
it.
then he said something. I don't know if it was I'm running late, please have a seat. I don't know what the fuck he said. But I'm like, looks like he's cutting hair, and he's the only guy here, so I'm gonna sit down.
Yep.
But like, I think kudos to the respect you get. At least like, hey, they like at least reply in German, assuming that there's a chance this guy actually speaks German, right? But that being said, the guy who cut my hair today, he's like from Iraq, speaks like perfect German. He's been here for like 12 years. So I think it's both like a minority thing. So like maybe he's like, well, if I speak perfect German, maybe this guy does too. So
Perfect.
I haven't interacted with enough like homegrown Germans, I guess,
Yep.
to
Yep.
truly know. I think they generally do though. Like credit to them. If I speak German, they'll speak it back. Although sometimes you get like super insulted and like you order something or say something in German, and then they just reply in English and they're like, dude, don't even waste my time here. Like
It takes
you're
mental
struggling
energy
this.
dealing with immigrants, right? I mean, you're dealing with fucking, it's just a constant battle, right?
Oh, bro, it's made me appreciate how hard it is. Like even if I were to return to Canada, I would just like I don't think I'm like unkind or impatient, but I would
Oh,
definitely
yeah. Me too.
double down on the mindfulness of just how incredibly difficult it is to live with that language barrier. And even just
Totally.
like the anxiety, like as I was like walking to
You're,
go
you're
to
like
my
rehearsing in your
haircut.
head.
Yeah, dude,
You're
it's
like,
so fucked.
oh, I have an appointment at 1:30. I have an appointment at 1:30. I know exactly what
Absolutely.
you're doing.
Do you? Oh
Dude,
my
I did it in
God, that's
Japan.
exactly what I was doing.
I lived in Japan for a year. This is exactly what I did every time before I went to a grocery store, a bakery, every fucking time. I'm just
But it's like
rehearsing
a
my fucking
chess.
lines.
It's just like a chess move, though. It's just like you're only thinking about the pawn. You don't even know what the third move is going to be, right? Like he's gonna reply. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, every time. Every time is it was brutal. I just I want to get the first line right to see if they speak Japanese back. Man, okay, so Japan has this stupid rule where not rule, but this is very common. If they don't feel comfortable serving you because they can't speak, they'll just say they're closed. They'll just come up to the front door and be like, sorry, no. Like that's their fucking move. They like using the X and they like pretending to be closed because there's like nobody here speaks English. We will look like trash. So we just got to tell them we're not open.
That's absolutely
So
ridiculous, though. Like, what about technology now, right? You could just like literally, you can't do like live audio translation yet, but you could like literally pull up your phone and like chat GPT it almost instantaneously, right?
they're not good with that shit. I tried so many times to like maybe a little bit better now. Like I tried so many times to have I love having this concept where I could get okay, Google used to have conversation mode, right? And convincing somebody to put let my phone be between us and us take proper cadence to speak to each other and read what the other person said and have a full convo. And I've only ever got to like move four until somebody gives up and fucks up the cycle, but
That sounds
it,
super awkward, actually. I don't know. I don't know if I would like that.
I get that, but you could actually have a full conversation, right? Because if you just took the patience, it's just like Lex interviewing Zelensky. I don't know if you watch this or not. Um,
I did listen to it. It's like slower, right? And I don't know what sort of magic he did post production to dub it. So I don't even know, is that Zelensky's voice at all or
no,
not?
both of them are dubbed. They're both dubbed. Because wait, you listened to it in English or you listened to it in
I
fucking
was
raw? You
English.
listened to well, obviously the English voices they both were
Well, I
dubbed.
want to understand the content. I didn't want to just hear it in Russian. I don't know how much of it they did in
Dude,
Russian.
wait, hold on a second. They did it in Russian, Ukrainian, and English.
I know. That's what he
So
said, but
well, obviously it's just like my Google Translate problem. Like there's a huge lag. You have this translator speaking in your ear, and if somebody talks for 4 minutes straight, you hear like double voices, and it sucks, right? Oh God,
yeah.
I can imagine.
I think interpreting is probably one of the actually the highest pressure jobs out there because you have to like accurately capture what like you have so much power actually, right? Like you can actually change the conversation and like inject some of your own whatever, like intonation bias into it. It's got to be like quite hard.
Can I pitch
Um,
you an app right now that I've thought about building for ages that might help you in Germany? Can I do
yeah.
it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So this is a stupid app that I've always wanted, and I think it's possible now with AI. It's just a eavesdropping app, right? All it is Google Translate that's always on, right? That just throws out what it thinks it heard. So like it goes to your screen. So like you're in a subway and you see people talking or whatever. It'll catch up part of the conversation. It'll just go to the screen. It'll be like, "Yo, you getting off here? No, I'm going to the next one. Yeah, how's your day going? Whatever, bullshit you hear." Or you're in a store and I don't know, you're about to check out and the lady says, um, "Oh wow, you earned 43 points today," or whatever bullshit they say. But you'd never catch that because you can all those nuances you'd never be part of, but maybe the translate would and you'd learn faster. So I've always wanted
Is
that.
it two things? Number one, is live audio translation that good already? I don't think it is, right? Like it
So,
still takes compute and there's a delay. So like by the time you get it back, I think you're already like out of that situation.
oh no, no, I'm not saying you're going to use it. What you're going to do is learn from it. So like you have the history. So it caught
Oh,
all the things that
it's like a Shazam. It's like a
correct, correct,
language Shazam for your day to
correct.
day. And you're like,
So
what did I hear in that restaurant? And then you just look back
exactly.
on it.
God, so I ask this question all the fucking time to my Japanese friends or Evan. I'm like, what the fuck did they say? And they're like, I don't know. Or they're like, oh, they probably said something like this. I'm like, that's not what they fucking said. I heard what they said. That was not the intonations. And it always bugs me. I'm just like, they said something casual, and it wasn't the formal way of saying it. It was the casual way of saying it. And I just wanted to rehear the casual because I keep hearing it over and over again, and I don't know what the fuck they said. So that's my, yeah, I don't know. And I think with AI, it's way easier to build now. It used to be really hard with Google Translate APIs, but now with AI APIs, way easier.
It seems so easy to do. Like, does it already exist?
Yeah.
I think it's an okay app. Would people pay for it?
No, they wouldn't. It's just for me. It's just for I don't know where it pivots to actually making money. I just thought it was fucking cool. I always wanted to build something like that, and I don't know. This sounds hard to build. I have no idea the revenue model on ever monetizing properly. But
Yeah. There's an entire ecosystem though of people like that, like expats, like software for expats and travelers and things like that. I see some potential in it, but it doesn't feel like a slam dunk. Like I get curious, but I don't think I like care enough to like go add another thing to my phone.
totally,
I don't know.
I
And
agree.
like, is the mic that good? Like, can it pick up shit from? I think your ears are better than your mic, right? So like, you just hear like pocket sounds, unless you're just like holding your phone up to somebody.
I know there's tons of flaws, but I feel like it's a slightly improved routing to getting to Star Trek, translations, like like maybe it pushes the ball like a centimeter forward, and eventually we get to this like late endless, translation
I don't think
beautifulness.
people would appreciate that, man. Like, we honestly have video phones right now, which is like Jetsons technology, and fucking no one uses it.
I use it all the fucking time. You don't use
Do
it.
you?
Video calls, I constantly force people to get on video. I constantly force my team to go on video. My rule for teams is, sorry, for my work, and most people don't follow this rule, is the first minute of the call, just fucking turn on your video, wave to the camera. Hey, you're alive, not a fucking robot. You're not on a subway pretending to work. And then close the call with, hey, see you later, guys. You can turn
It
off your
depends on the,
video the
yeah,
whole time.
it depends on the culture. I think like at my work, usually it's cameras on. Like, and if someone sets that, you kind of get this critical mass where like, hey, why is this person's camera off? But if you have a culture of camera off, then like everybody follows that lead, right? So, um,
Like
yeah, but
me and
like,
my mom will have a video call and she lives just over there. She's a 5 minute drive away, but I still try to force her to a video call because it's just more you get emotion out of it. You get facial
I
expression.
agree. How many girls do you know though? Because like,
Oh fuck.
I think women are just like, I don't have makeup on, or like,
Oh my
I'm
God.
like for dudes, I think it's way easier, but like, I think you're gonna see lots of resistance from chicks.
You are totally right. One of my chick programmers avoided turning on her video for a whole year until I
Dude, it makes sense though, because like the tax on chicks getting ready, like the whole appeal for work from home is that they can basically look like goblins and basically do what dudes do, which is fuck all, right? Like it impacts them way more than us, I feel.
oh, I completely agree. Yeah, I
But I
just
guess there's nothing preventing us from video calling each other.
yeah, I mean, we did it. This is our like first one, I feel like. Second one, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to try and be better at it for sure.
You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy you know, the face to face. And you got to enjoy the fact that I can't stare at your eyes, because it doesn't quite
It's true.
work.
You stare
It
at
works.
yours.
I mean, like but I can feel it's fake. My mind knows that I'm not staring at a fucking person. I don't know how I know that. So I'm like, I always trail off into like not looking. I'm really curious whether or not VR solved that problem, and I think
I'm
it
gonna
might.
rearrange. I'm gonna rearrange. I think we naturally want to look at the picture. So I'm gonna now rearrange my window so
Ooh,
that you are like
oh,
two
that's a good
inches
question.
below the webcam.
Fuck, I'm gonna try to
I
solve that too.
think
I just want to see you. Why am I seeing myself? Definitely dumb. You're
I
totally
think
right.
that's the I think that's the
How do I
trick. So
how
that
do
way
I
I'm just looking just under, I don't know, like fuck around with your window so that
how
you're
do I just
underneath the
get
webcam.
you? I don't want me anymore. Wait,
I
there
think
it
you
is.
put
View, speaker. Okay,
pin.
wait.
Yeah.
And then oh, maybe that works. Yeah, okay, got it. Oh yeah, cool. That's better. Yeah, that's interesting.
Do you think the other podcasters are using Zoom or is there some kind of special
No
software?
idea. No idea.
I think this is the lowest barrier to entry MVP that one can make, though.
Yeah. I'm curious too. I don't really know. Hey, we should switch gears to the stupid house thing, condo thing.
Condo thing. So for the one viewer who will watch this, um, you
My
and I
mom,
obviously had a. Will she? Do you think?
not the whole thing, maybe.
So, so you and I were. Depends how long it ends up being. But we'll put chapters in this or something. I don't know. We'll put every topic in the description. Um, real estate opportunity. Um, yeah, you and I were presented with a pretty last minute opportunity. I think what I liked is that we both kind of capitalized it within 24 hours and then kind of came to an evaluation and a conclusion within, call it 1 week of the original ideation of the opportunity. Um, maybe describe the opportunity from your point of view. What was it? What was the main thesis of it? And let's try and keep things confidential.
Okay, well, I mean, we have a buddy who has been selling out of. I mean, I'm going to name the building. The building's the Heiress, and in East Village there, and he saw that there was very attractive deals in that building for the winter season, and that some of them were really good enough that he decided to buy one, and that he thought the deal is so sick that it's worth it to buy because it's an easy win. That's I think that's just it. I mean, the price points range from 400s to high 500s, and that's a really contentious building because it's in a location that is right very close to the drop-in center, but it's a brand new building with high quality facilities, and some of the views are phenomenal from one side of the building. And then I think the other thesis is that because Stampede is going through a huge reconstruction, I don't know, revitalizing, um, the new arena will build a lot of business, and that's going to be, it's so close to it. I think that's it.
Almost think of it as it was discounted for whatever reason. And having just sold a condo a month ago, I thought, okay, this is like by the dollar per square foot metric, which I realize doesn't describe everything. It was severely discounted. And so there was maybe an opportunity there to just take this coupon and go get our discount. And then the rest is just gravy on top. But it really was just that CapEx discount. I think what attracted me to it.
You know what?
But then
I
as
hate
we
God, good, sir.
I just said but then as we thought more about it and delved deeper, it maybe seemed less attractive than when you're originally pitched. And I gotta say, like our buddy's a really good salesman, deservedly a good salesman. But then we thought, would we actually live in it? Is it as good as they say? What is the true nature of the Calgary condo market? And I think zooming out, it became less of a sure thing. And then ultimately, I would say, I guess we did turn it down for a couple of reasons that may not even be related to the opportunity, but just our own personalities and life situations.
Oh. Hey, I got one no question. Your Smith condo was a one bedroom, right?
Yeah, but it was like fucking expensive for what it was, and I lost money hand over fist on that.
I forgot what you sold it for.
I bought it for like 430 GST in,
Got it.
sold it 10 years later for 390. So
So
like
you know,
forget opportunity cost, which
okay, well then you know what?
10-year bull run.
This is kind of interesting though, because that heiress one bedroom was selling for exactly that much. Right?
No, but on a square foot basis,
It was.
Smith was way pricier.
Are you sure? Because wait, it was 600
Yeah.
square feet, right? Um, but we didn't see the one bedroom. The one bedroom was selling for 380 or something like that. I don't really know, but I bet you that square footage is around 600, right? So actually, maybe that's right on the mark of. Remember, we talked about this and we didn't realize this at first. It was square footage gets cheaper as you scale to the biggest, right?
Yeah, like that incremental square foot doesn't, it's not linear, right? It flattens out at some point.
So maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Smith comparable is more like a one bedroom square footage comparable. Maybe that's what I didn't realize earlier, actually. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think we're on the same page on it, regardless. It is
I think
interesting. I like how fast we were. That's good.
I like that too. I mean, you were there on time, money in hand. I like that you had the most money. Um, I also
Um,
love that like you're not even the first person that I asked. I asked only about like six people, and obviously it self-selects for people that I know could potentially be equipped to make a quick decision. You and someone else were both like, can I use my Holdco? Which is just like really funny. Like I don't think I ever hear that in Germany, right? Like it just goes to
so
show like sort of the entrepreneurial spirit of Calgary and all that.
so you got to remember something. The only reason why I had money in hand was I just bought this place, and I did something really crazy on this place. Be like, I made an all cash, no conditions offer. So I moved all my money around just in case I couldn't get financing last minute. So I could pay for it in cash. And then I ended up not having to because I got a mortgage and did it all
Oh my
last
God.
minute.
So many questions. So many questions.
So I
How
mean,
risky is that all cash, no condition offer?
the perfect amount of risk for an Adil kind of deal. I mean, that's just how I roll. I mean, yeah, you know what? This was on our topic list. So you want me to tell you about the stupid house? How about
Yeah.
okay. So this is kind of funny. That condo is the same price as this house. So the one we were gonna buy is exactly the same price as this house.
Okay. Sure.
So this house is kind of a dump in some ways because it's over 100 years old. It was like 110 years old. It's got it's a century home that's really tiny square footage. Like the
How big
top,
is it?
so it's a bi-level because it sits on a hill. So that means that there's a front door to the main level, and then if you go down the back concrete stairs, you can go to the back side and enter the lower level, but from the back, right, on a main door. That makes sense. The upstairs has 700 some square feet with like a 150 square foot patio, which makes a huge difference. And then the lower level has about 600 square feet, which with a gigantic deck as well. So both have, you know, areas. But yeah, that's a tiny house. Most houses aren't this fucking small. Um, yeah, I think the reason why, what did I want when I was buying? When I was buying, I wanted to live somewhere I liked. So this one fit all the check marks for liking. But in terms of the offer, what I did was it was originally listed for, I'll just say the numbers, I don't really care, 690 on MLS. And it came down to 620 over the course of 2.5 months. Um, and I came in with an all cash offer of 540 at first, you know?
I would consider that a low ball.
Oh, definitely a low ball without question. I didn't want to go that low, but my realtor recommended it to me that, hey, just throw a fucking really low offer, see if they have any room. And they completely ignored me, to be honest. They didn't even respond, like they should. Like they're just like, fuck off. I think that's the right move. So then I upped my offer 30 grand and they bit. They immediately bit. That was the right. They were like, oh, this person's serious, no conditions, all cash, kind of thing. They lowered their price to 600. And then I upped mine 10 grand. And then they insultingly lowered theirs 5 grand, which I thought was kind of like, I put up 10. Why don't you guys go down 10? Regardless, I stalled out and then hit 540, 584. So it all worked out in the end. I was willing to pay 600, so I'm happy, I think, in my head. Um, but yeah, it's risky. It's risky because maybe there's a gigantic flaw here. I mean, there's probably a bunch actually. But I don't even want to know what they are, to be honest. It just makes it harder for me to imagine what I want. I don't know.
Have you gotten a heating bill yet? Maybe that's the off cost situation.
Ooh, I have not got a heating bill yet, I don't think. I gotta look at that. Fuck. Um, yeah. But let's go back a second. I mean, why did I buy a house even regardless? Because from a Calgary perspective, I thought detached houses are the only ones that have unlimited upside and that appreciate over the long haul. Secondly, one of my key things I wanted was walkability inner city, which is fucking impossible to find for a detached house, to be honest. That's like the hardest fucking thing in the world. Um, and then south facing. You said this when you visited Calgary, man. You were like, I love the sun so much more in Calgary. And I think if you own a home in Calgary, you should fucking optimize for the sun because it's awesome.
For a guy who always says like I have pretty decent mental game, it's actually insane how much the weather still impacts like mood and joy and like all that, right? But I just like waking up to like a bright place, right? Like my condo in Calgary, southeast facing, just you wake up and it's like completely full of sunlight and it helps if I'm not a morning person that there's like a welcoming scene, I guess, when you open your eyes.
Totally. I think that was the calc. Did we said it yet? No. Um, yeah. So it kind of worked out. I think, yeah, I didn't, I think there's one flaw with this place, which a lot of people will see, um, which is
That you're in
it's
it.
yeah, it's a small house and, um, it's got a beautiful $1 million view that people
But
may
that's
not appreciate.
insane though, right? Isn't that insane? Like here, that'd be considered a perfectly fine. Like I don't, I to me, I think 1,300 up and down is a fine size, right? It's like here we almost like in Calgary, you need like 2,000 before it's considered normal, which I think is just like a bad mindset.
I would agree. I mean, the
Okay,
less space you have, the less fucking money you're spending on stupid shit to fill it.
so much stupid shit. So anyway, but please continue. Okay, so people are gonna come in and say, "Oh, you've got a small house."
Yep. I think that's a part of it. And there's no garage as well. So regardless, what was my plan going forward? I mean, I have a lot of crazy ideas for it, but one of the easiest ones I can do is build a garage. So I'm going to do that. But some of the harder things I'm thinking of doing is destroying the connection between the main level and the lower level and making the lower level a suite. Um, and the reason why I want to do this is because the stairs that connect the main level to the lower level make the lower level a maze. They really ruin the entire lower level layout. And by removing them, the lower level just becomes more spacious. By blowing out some walls, becomes way more spacious and way more usable. At the moment, I don't enjoy the downstairs at all. Only thing I go down there for is laundry. And that's like I don't need to use it. The only thing I'm worried about is, sound if I'm gonna rent it out to an Airbnb or a long-term tenant. I'm kind of worried about sound transition. The other thing is I want to keep it open for my sister and her kids actually, because I think it'd be awesome for them, when they actually come for a month at a time, to have a place
I
to stay.
Without having seen your place though, I'd be inclined to leave it and use the whole space because if you do change that and fully segregate them, now you need two kitchens, two laundries, like then you're really shrinking the space, right? Then you've basically got two bachelor suites that are 600 to 700 square feet. That feels too small to me. Whereas if you have a 1,300 square foot living space with only one kitchen, one laundry, one of each thing, to me, it's just better.
I think you're totally right. And that's why I'm trying to plan to have an extra 400 square feet above the garage that opens up the main level to having a beautiful master bedroom, another washroom for the main level. because I think you're right. It is too small. Um, and that's a challenge, but I think it can do it. But because I think the main level addition above the garage, it's awesome, but the lower level connection is less good. But I'm thinking about it. I'm still open to a bunch of solutions, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. Honestly, if I do nothing, it's also fine too. But just like
Was there
bringing
some
cameras, you know?
was there something that prompted you to go from, I've always known you as a renter to finally putting down some roots and deciding to own, which is like a pretty big lifestyle change, I would say.
Um, mostly just, man, I was going to tell you about this. I feel like my life's been too chaotic over the last 10 plus years, and I needed some stability. I've been living out of, I got from worse and worse from like renting to renting furnished to renting furnished with less stuff. Like it got to a point where I had so many like storage of boxes of things I have, but I couldn't unpack because I kept moving and stuff. And it felt sucky. I felt like I was also just traveling too much and hopping around too much. And it was affecting my taxes. It was affecting my health. It was affecting my like mental state. And I could tell that
Mhm.
I needed some stability. So that was one piece of it for sure. And I can tell like I'm a lot happier that I know where my sketchbook is right now. I have like a bookshelf of stuff. Like I know where all my stuff is now because I got to unpack it all, you know? And I'm able to like put down things. I'm able to buy things. I just bought a pair of skis because I know I can own them now because I have a place that they'll probably live in for a while.
Yeah.
That was a piece of it. And then my intuition is if I go ahead with this reno, I might move again, to be honest, in a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is. I know one of these pieces I'm going to keep. So I'm either going to keep the lower level for myself or the garage for myself, or like one of the places is going to be mine forever, right? So I'll be
Yeah.
able to put all my stuff in my forever place. So that's kind of the reasoning. Kind of told myself to not have to
But
travel for 12 months. So that's my goal right now.
as a guy who has traveled around quite a bit, um, was Calgary only the ever answer for the forever place, or did you actually consider other places?
I mean, I tried to move to Vancouver forever. I went into that
Right.
philosophy. Um, I think fundamentally my parents are here and I have to be so much richer to move them both out. And I'm just not. Like I consider I was like, how do I get my mom and dad to move to Vancouver? And it just looked not possible, you know? Even though they like this didn't seem feasible. They have friend circles here. They're happy. Um, yeah, I mean Japan I tried to consider it. Um, Calgary just made sense. Maybe not forever. Like maybe there's a way to snowbird, or just rent this place out and I think I'm not scared of that too. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. But I guess for now, I get the aging parents thing. Like they're probably not going to change, so you kind of have to adapt yourself to them for their, let's call it, final years or what have you.
I
So
mean, you have your bro here, which is helpful, you know. Um,
we're not like
I'm
super tight, so I don't know if that really weighs super high on the balance sheet of assets.
but I
But
mean, he'll help your dad change his tires or something dumb or like,
oh,
and I mean,
totally.
taking care of your dad just a little bit more. Like my sister's, almost likely never gonna move to Canada again. So,
So she got the jump on you by bailing first, and now you're stuck. Is that how you see it?
she take care of my nephews, and I take care of our parents. I don't know, equal trade.
Who's is there like an obvious favorite now? Like, are you closer to them due to proximity, or do your parents still like you both equally, do you think?
Um, I think because she made grandkids, that's like points in her direction no matter what. I don't know. I don't know if they really truly consider it. I think to be honest, you want the thing that you don't get enough of. So I don't really know.
Right. Like the son helping out with like the plumbing, fuck that. Like, where's the Where's the soft babies coming from?
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I don't think it's on over, thinking too much about it, but whatever.
So if she never comes back, um, I think you went to go visit them with your parents.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if that will change if, like, for some reason they can't hop on a plane.
Oh
Like, if your
yeah.
sister would ever just be like, well, too bad then. You'd have to be a bit of a monster to not, change your tune if that were the case.
I'm sure that will be the situation. So I mean, she's moving to Saudi Arabia. I don't know if I told you or not. In
No.
August. Um, yeah. So everybody's leaving in August to go to Saudi Arabia. Um, because they got a wicked offer there. So they're excited about that. That's be the next family trip, I bet, next winter. I bet we'll go for a month or something, which sounds like cool because I don't know, I didn't know where they were. They're in a place called Jeddah, which is off the
Yeah.
Red Sea, and it's like a scuba diving, snorkeling spot. It looks beautiful. So, except for maybe all the rules of Saudi Arabia, I think it should be pretty cool.
I assume she's probably in some sort of like international expat situation where she's maybe more
Exactly.
sheltered from.
Yeah, a gated community of some sort. I don't really know what it is, but I assume so too.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
Mhm.
I wonder if there's something in your upbringing that sort of created two siblings that tend to be nomadic is maybe too strong of a word, but like partially nomadic, right? Well, they call it slow madding, where you spend many months or years in the same place, but you're still kind of like on the move and away from your home city.
I think if you look at my mom's side of the family, you'll see it for generations actually. Because my parents hopped from Africa to, London, England to Canada. So that was a bunch of movies itself. My grandparents hopped from India as kids, to Africa. So, and then I think there's been a bunch of that, like immigration slash hopping around. So I think you hear the stories and maybe I think just a little bit of the storytelling helps you think about it. Or like I think it's like the people just your parents teach you shit, man. They teach you, know, to think about other cultures or to be worldly or something dumb, and you follow what they taught you.
Yeah, one thing that was kind of interesting, like one of those things where you like realize you're more like your parents than you care to admit or want to be.
Yeah.
So I moved to Germany when I was 38, and also super random. That's when my dad, when he was 38, back in 1998, moved from Toronto to Calgary. So it's like we're actually kind of like more alike in some ways, but it's kind of a strange coincidence. Obviously, way easier for me without a 12-year
Yeah.
old and an 8-year old in hand, which is what he
Totally.
did. So
Yep.
yeah, kind of bizarre. As soon as I made that connection, I was just like, oh, weird. What a weird coincidence. And then, like, if there was some sort of family tree lineage going into the future, which I'm not sure that there will be, the way it's going right now, it's almost like, well, I wasn't born in Canada. So, like, Canada was just at right now, at this point, a stepping stone. Like, we went in, for, but I think I will be back. I think there's like a lot
Yeah.
of things potentially structurally wrong with Germany that if I just do it by straight math, or do the calcs, it doesn't really work out. But
Yeah.
stranger things have happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I enjoy Canada more after tasting a few other countries and realizing what it's all about. But
Yeah, I'm about 7 months into it, and I'm obviously you have home team bias, but I'm like, I would say I definitely came with like an open mind, and I'm for sure inclined to agree. Like, you don't appreciate the kinds of things that Canada does right until you're like away from those things and they're gone.
I wonder if you have a lot of other opportunity now that you're in the EU. I mean, there's a lot of other countries there. I mean, I bet they have similarities in some ways, structurally, but
I think
I don't know.
I think EU offers like a lot more lifestyle opportunity. Like you just hop on a high-speed train and go somewhere, take a short flight, go somewhere. Economic opportunity, I'm definitely of the mind that North America is the place to be. Like, if you were not exposed to US market and US equities, you basically had like a pretty flat decade, right? Like all the growth in the last 10 years has largely been from America, or at least that's what my financial advisors told me. But I see it true. Like this country here is second year of recession. I don't see how they're gonna. I kind of put my feet, like put myself in the shoes of a politician here, and like, how would I solve these problems? And there's like super complicated here. I think demographics, culture, attractiveness to immigrants, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't seem immediately easy. But I wonder if there's like pockets of niches, like I don't know. You have so many different weird things of like you have like the Spanish coast I think about, or the Portugal coast. You have the Italian coast. I think about all the warm areas of the EU that lives pretty interesting, and I wonder if there's a pocket there that could be a dream because it has culture, it has beautiful weather, it has scenery, has good
yeah.
food. So I wonder if there's pieces there, and then maybe it's not the perfect economic model, or maybe there's an economic model in the rich area, and then you're not far away from the beautiful area either. Like I hate the thing about hate about Canada is there is no warm beach, and that bugs the fuck out of me. There's no tropical
Yeah.
fish. There's
But it's all a lifestyle thing. If you think about anywhere that has like warm beaches, I question how economically viable it is. Like, yeah, you might own like a surf shop, but like, is that like the business equivalent of being just self-employed and like
yeah,
subsistence farming? Like, I don't think they're scaling, right? They're just kind of like happy with what they have, which is
totally.
like perfectly fine. Um, or they're just making do with like the geography they were born in. Hard to
Totally.
say.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but as an EU resident, can you have both? Like, can you have, a little, you know, you can go to that place and it still feels like home because you're part of the EU. Maybe that's not true because I can just go to one of the islands in in the Caribbean, I guess, um, or Mexico, I guess. I don't know. They don't feel close enough for some reason. They don't. I always kind of go to Asia for my warm places, but it's really far. It just doesn't feel close. It feels like I'm commuting across the world, which I am. And I wonder if there's a difference between the EU that I don't know. I'm just dreaming of things in Italy right now, and I think there's there's some really cool places there. But maybe it does feel different. Maybe you can't have both homes. One of my friends right now is living in two countries at the same time. He has leases in both places. He has like a beautiful penthouse in Calgary, and he has a small one bedroom in the city in Romania, and he has both. And I can't believe he lives in two places at the same time. That's ridiculous to me, but I guess you can.
I would say if you have a penthouse in Calgary and a place in Romania where they make like, I think they make
Sorry,
like a
sorry,
thousand
not
euros a
Romania,
month.
Poland, it's Poland.
Yeah, same, I guess. I mean, to me, that sounds like 90% of his capital is in Calgary or more.
It's true. I
Like,
mean,
I think
yep.
the average salary in, at least in Romania, is like, it's like 1,000 euros a month,
So
right?
I'm pretty
Like,
sure his apartment um in Poland is a lot. I mean, it's two-thirds of my mortgage if you want to do that calc. But yeah,
okay, so he's balling out hard in Poland.
yeah, he is. So I think what I find more shocking is that you mentally got yourself wrapped around two places at the same time. Like you're spending 6 months in each is kind of his MO right now, which is just interesting to me that you can persist in two places. I never considered
But
that
you,
as a
but
concept.
you really can't, right? You really can't. I mean, you can only really be in one place at one time. So it just sounds like existing with twice the work is what it sounds like to me,
I
which
mean, I
I
don't know.
know.
You threw the biggest party in the world on fucking New Year's. Eve. Is that what it was? I don't know. Wait, New Year's Day.
Yes.
I don't know. Yes, New Year's Eve. I don't know how you exist in Calgary so well. You must be communicating with all your friends really well. Props to you, man.
I think video calls help. As much as you like video calls, for like one step down, I've been really liking voice notes. Like
Mm.
just leaving someone a voice note, it prompts them to send you a voice note. And then maybe you don't get the video thing. So you like save the girls from doing the makeup thing and bad lighting and they get all fucking anxious and shit. But with like a voice note, they can like, I think it's like a really good compromise to just hear someone's voice and you get a little bit more emotion and a little more personal. So,
Ooh, I
and
like that.
and if you say their name in the voice note, then they know you didn't just mass forward like 50 invites, right? So you kind of get to put that personal touch on. And I think it's got good leverage, man.
I get. I really like that tip. I'm going to use that tip.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was nice to throw that party, I would say, because like I didn't ask anyone to RSVP or anything. Like I just sent the invites and assumed that the room would be filled. And then I would say like largely was.
Oh yeah,
So
it's perfect.
definitely flattered by that. And it's probably like five friend groups mixing together, at least two career changes mixing together. So that was kind of interesting too.
Nice. No, that worked out great. I'm impressed with how well you do there. I mean, I noticed you've been doing more Instagrams. Your Instagram quality has gone up, which is awesome. Um, yeah. No, I like how you're communicating and keeping in touch with everybody. I think it's good, really healthy.
I think it's the radical honesty, maybe, or like authenticity. Not sure.
Mm,
But yeah, whenever I just speak into the camera, which isn't very often, to be honest, I get like way more engagement though. So I think you got to do what the people are asking for. And honestly, it doesn't feel like work to me. I think you and I, maybe from our tutoring backgrounds or speaking backgrounds, but we talk pretty smoothly, like not much filler, and we can think off the top of our heads quite easily. And so
mm.
that bodes well to like sort of doing everything in one take. And that's the other thing too. Like I don't re-record it. I just do it.
I completely agree with that philosophy. Most all my Instagram shots are typically one take. I put a lot of quality into a single photo sometimes, but I think that all the nuance is only for me. I don't think anybody gives a fuck about my nuance. Um, but I like I don't know, I like your selfie videos slash your voice recorded videos on Instagram. I can maybe do that. I don't know why. I have a bit of, I don't know.
It's like a mini 30 to 60-second video diary, right?
Yeah.
But of course, you have to be doing something moderately interesting. I think like
Yeah.
taking pictures of your food is now super passe.
Yeah. I'll
But
tell you why. I'll tell you why it's hard for me. Because all the interesting things I do are adrenaline thrilled and uh fast typically. So it's hard for me to selfie while I'm motorcycling, or I'm scootering or I'm doing something really risky and I can't film that because I'm gonna die then. Like I do things that are really like I don't know, I'm moving a couch solo or something dumb like that, right? But it's really hard to do that solo that I can't record me doing it solo. I've tried, but
I think you can
those are
do the
the
before and after though, right? You can just be like, hey, I'm about to move this couch solo. Let's see what happens. And then you do the after, and it's like, oh man, there's like a hole in my wall. And now the couch is stuck or something like that. I don't
so
know.
I moved this barbecue solo. It was stupid as fuck,
Yeah.
but
But
I
you know
did it.
what?
Oh my God, it was great.
Not that I'm like an influencer because I have like fucking 200 followers, if that. But it is hard to do because when you're out on the street filming yourself, you do get like the odd stare from other
Oh
people, right?
yeah, you totally
And you
do.
and you have to like get over that.
Yeah, I've not got over that, I don't
Yeah.
think.
No, neither have
I,
I. But
yeah. I gotta think about that one. I probably could do it. I just know that the action moments will be hard to get. I mean, I have a GoPro. I think yeah, I mean, it's just
the
editing
problem is
and
then you have to edit exactly.
oh
How
God,
much do we really want to edit, right?
yeah, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're nearing the hour here. I
Oh, is
do have
I'm
more topics to talk about, but I think an hour is good. Like, why don't we save something
oh
for maybe
interesting.
say
So
next week?
let's save it. I wasn't watching the time this whole time, so I didn't know if it's been an hour and a half, 2 hours, or 45 minutes. So I had no idea. Next time, just you go as long as you want to go. I think
I'm like
that's how
a
you feel.
I'm like a shitty DJ. I just go by the energy of the room. I think you always want to keep it like
Oh yeah,
exciting,
totally.
and as soon as like there's some kind of lull, you're just like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah, totally. I
That's
like it.
the end. Let's
Let's call.
recharge.
Uh, should we do post thoughts right now? Is that dumb to do? Was it?
Yeah,
Did you
post
enjoy the
thoughts.
pod? Did you
I thought it
enjoy
was a
anything?
I would say it was like 90% natural, 5 to 10% a bit sticky, but I think we'll get better. So let's see
How
how it
how
looks
often do you want to do it? Do you want to do it every Saturday morning? Or if that's my time at least, Saturday evening. Oh, when are you at the office like this?
whenever I want. But I think, uh, yeah, we can sort that out. I think every 2 weeks seems like a good cadence, maybe
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to like do it on a perfect schedule either. It's kind of just
no
happens. My
to an
weeks are
odd.
pretty flex. So
Yeah, I think like stay behind and just record an hour whenever the time makes sense. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I think the fewer rules, the better.
and then finally, how do we want to do this editing? And we have we confirmed the name and we want to do the upload on that name? Because we could I could get a YouTube channel for a way if we chose that name.
I think
Um,
rejected potential is the way to go. What do you
okay,
think?
let's do it. I'm okay with that.
It's
Yep,
just too good.
it's too good. Great, great.